2 blocks, 1 white flag lap, and 1 line that may follow Corey Heim for the rest of this season: get thicker skin and deal with it. He didn't say that to a rival. He didn't say it to some veteran trying to run him off the track. He said it to his teammate, the guy sharing the same trailer, the same pit crew resources, the same company logo on the hood. At Michigan International Speedway on Saturday, Corey Heim won the Truck Series race. But the bigger story isn't the checkered flag. It's what happened the second the engines went quiet. Corey Heim takes the win at Michigan in what came down to a final lap drag race between him and teammate Kaden Honeycutt, both running Tricon Garage trucks. With 1 lap left, Heim threw a block low, then cut back across the nose of Honeycutt's truck. It was aggressive, it was clean enough to avoid contact, and it was effective. Heim beat Honeycutt to the line by inches. Here's the detail that makes this whole thing complicated. Honeycutt is driving the number 11, the exact truck that Heim used to win the Truck Series championship last year and rack up 23 victories over the past 3 seasons. The truck has Heim's fingerprints all over it. And on Saturday, he used every bit of what he knows about that truck to beat the guy currently driving it. Kaden Honeycutt is having a season that's been slipping through his fingers. By his own admission, he feels like he's given away multiple results this year, and that frustration is real. When you're a young driver trying to establish yourself in a series where every point and every win counts toward a future cup opportunity, those moments pile up fast. Coming into Michigan, Honeycutt had momentum. He had a strong truck. And for most of that race, he was right there. He made multiple runs at Heim in the final laps, looking for a lane that just never opened up. What makes the locker room angle so combustible here is the pre-race arrangement. Heim and fellow competitor Bell had talked things through before the green flag. They had a plan: work together, build a gap, and separate themselves from the field. That kind of coordination in super speedway style plate racing is normal. But Honeycutt watched Heim execute that plan beautifully with someone outside of Tricon, then turn around and block him when they were the last 2 in contention. That's the cut that stings, not the blocks themselves, but the sequence. Let's be honest about what actually happened out there strategically. Heim's position is defensible. At the white flag, you are not obligated to hand a win to your teammate. That's not how this sport works. The whole framework of plate drafting is that alliances shift, sometimes lap to lap. Heim and Bell worked together to get clear of the pack. Bell fell back, and Heim was left trying to protect a lead. His red was that his truck had superior center corner speed on long runs, using his truck's strength to cover the bottom while Honeycutt looked for a way around. That is fundamentally sound racecraft. But here's the strategic risk Heim may be underestimating. Honeycutt is not just a teammate, he's a driver. Heim will need to count on at some point this season. Plate tracks, super speedways, or even just situations where you need a pushback that keeps you on the lead lap. Once you've publicly dismissed your teammates' frustration with a line that's sharp, you've put a price tag on future cooperation. Is this smart for one Saturday afternoon? Absolutely. For the long arc of a season, that's where it gets risky. Honeycutt's comment that he only lifted because it was a company truck says everything. He knew wrecking both of them would have been catastrophic for the team. He made the responsible call. And Heim's response to that restraint was to tell him to grow up. That's a dangerous message to send inside your own garage. I definitely wouldn't have lifted in that situation. That line from Honeycutt should make Tricon Garage management pay close attention. The goodwill that kept 2 trucks from getting destroyed on Saturday may not hold the next time around. What happens next depends almost entirely on how team ownership handles this. David Gilliland and Johnny Gray now have a dynamic between their 2 drivers that, if left unaddressed, could cost them wins down the stretch. The fan base is going to split down the middle on this one, and hard. Half the NASCAR world is going to love Heim for it. Racing is racing. You win when you can win. Sentiment has no place on the final lap of a Truck Series race, and there is a respectable crowd that believes giving a win to your teammate out of politeness is an insult to competition itself. But the other half, and this crowd is vocal, is going to look at Honeycutt's frustration and see a young driver being buried by the exact person who should be building him up. Heim came up through this team. He knows what it takes to win in that number 11 truck better than anyone alive. And rather than pour any of that into his teammate, he won a race and then handed him a press conference dismissal. Media will frame this as a feud. It sells. But the real story for analysts worth their salt is the structural tension inside Tricon Garage and whether team leadership gets out ahead of it before this thing escalates publicly. Tricon Garage Management steps in, facilitates a real conversation between Heim and Honeycutt, and both drivers agree to a clearer set of protocols for future situations. Honeycutt channels his frustration into performance, starts converting those near misses into wins, and by the back half of the season, this story becomes the origin point of a stronger working relationship. Heim's bluntness, viewed in hindsight, pushed Honeycutt to level up. This festers. Honeycutt, who already said he's given too much away this season, stops giving Heim any consideration on track. The next time they're in a similar situation, nobody lifts. Two Tricon trucks get torn up, points evaporate, and what looked like an in-house competition moment turns into a multi-race distraction that derails both their seasons. The get thicker skin line becomes a rallying cry every time something goes sideways between them. Corey Heim won the race, that's undeniable. But winning the race and handling the aftermath are two entirely different skills, and right now, it's not clear he's nailed both. Here's what we want to know from you. When you are racing for your livelihood, for championship points, for a Cup Series audition that might define your career, do you give the win to your teammate? Or do you race him like a stranger? Drop your take in the comments. And if you think Honeycutt had every right to be furious, or if you think Heim made the only call a competitor could make, let the debate start below. If you want more coverage of the moments that actually move the needle in NASCAR, not just the box scores, hit subscribe. We'll be here every time something real happens.